Alright, last time, lots of shit happened. I'm pretty sure we finished, or almost finished, 4.4. The Warriors of Darkness came to have an epic battle with me and the squad. Orchestrated by Urianger, because, you know, fuck that guy. And then, you know, Infilia fucked off to another realm. That's the TLDR. Where am I going? Tidings from Yearbon, yeah, Rising Stones. Yeah, TLDR, Infialia's retired. And everyone's really sad. The end. Ah, Kinliana, just the hero I wanted to see. Would you mind doing me a small favor? I need you to meet me at Diamond Forge. This won't take long, I promise. Yeah, we found Ida and Papa Limo. They're chilling. The Griffin is this dude who's fucking trying to get the Alamegans to fight back for their homeland, but he's also receiving crystals, which is a little sus. He's acting like they're not for summoning a primal, but we're pretty sure he's trying to summon a fucking primal. We're pretty sure that's his plan. I'm sorry to drag you away from your duties, but as I said, this won't take long. I just need you to stand perfectly still for a few moments. Ah! Gasp. I'm about to be assaulted by 2 potatoes and some weirdos. Right, everyone, ready to get to work? No squirming now. Oh, and you might want to close your eyes. Gasp. Hee. There, all finished. The Warrior Blade's every measurement, from heroic head to intrepid toe. Well, wouldn't you like to know? All in good time, Kinliana. All in good time. Aha! Found you. Alfino wants everyone in the Solar for a meeting. I don't know what it's about, but he seemed to think it was very important. Go on, we have everything we need. No sense in keeping everyone waiting.
We're here. Did we miss anything?
We would not presume to begin without you, Ida. Urianger has returned to the Waking Sands, but everyone else is now present.
Yes, but for what exactly? We all have duties to attend to, Alphino, so you may dispense with the preamble.
Thank you, Elise. It is the very subject of those duties which compelled me to call this gathering. Though the Warriors of Darkness no longer pose a threat, Eorzea's many troubles demand no less of our attention. And while I stand by the decision to approach each task as we see fit, I fear our effectiveness will ultimately be diminished should we continue to act in ignorance of each other's efforts. Thus, I propose we elect a successor to Minfilia. Not to serve as a fully fledged antecedent, perhaps, but as a coordinator of operations.
Is that all? Well, then the decision seems clear. No one else has shown any enthusiasm for the role, and judging by your performance at our previous meeting, you would seem the perfect candidate. You always did have a flair for politics.
I did not mean to... That was not my intention. As my tenure as commander of the Crystal Braves comprehensively demonstrated, I lack the qualities required for such an office. I would much prefer to remain as I am now, a soldier in the field, so to speak.
Should none of our number step forward, must we then constrain some unwilling candidate to take up the position?
Well, based on merit alone, a certain adventurer would be my choice. Though I concede she might struggle to balance her new responsibilities with, let me see, slaying primals, thwarting legatuses, and feeding the orphan poor.
Thancred makes a good point. Any who would wear such a mantle would be bound by its obligations. Have we not become sufficiently familiar with each other's methods to act without an overseer? At present, I see no cause to so willingly limit one of our number.
Oh my goodness! Help! I need some help here!
Tataru, are you all right?
Me? I'm fine. It's this poor girl who just staggered in and collapsed on the floor that I'm worried about.
Narco! God, how did... Yashola! Please, you have to help her.
Kral, a hand if you would. Let us see about closing these wounds.
Now, we've staunched the bleeding, but it may be a while before you can move about again. Though having seen your wounds, I'm surprised you are still moving at all.
Thank you. My message. It was too important to delay. I took the shortest route I could, though I knew it was more heavily patrolled. As you can see, my efforts at evasion were not entirely successful.
Honestly, you're too brave for your own good. What was so urgent that you needed to fight half the Empire to get here? You could have been killed.
I'm sorry, Ida. I had good reason. But I imagine your friends are wondering who this bloody mess of a Mikote is. My name is Minago, and I belong to the Alamegan Resistance. I came to warn Ida and Papalimo about one of our leaders. A man who calls himself the Griffin. He's always been dangerous, but he's planning something new. Something reckless.
The Griffin, you say? I've heard the name. Rumor has it your man is eager to test his claws.
Yeah, I didn't remember her having a voice either. I don't think she has many in Stormblood.
Target. He means to assault Belsar's wall from the Alamegan side.
But what does the Griffin possibly hope to gain from such an attack?
From what I understand, he wants the fires of war to spread to Eorzea. And for that, he needs to control the border with Gridania.
So, he means to spark a conflict between the Alliance and the Imperial forces stationed in Alamigo, to have Eorzea's armies aid in the liberation effort, whether they will it or no.
His plan is flawed. Even should the Resistance succeed in occupying the wall, they would not be able to hold it. Imperial reinforcements would drive them out within a week.
Be that as it may, if there is even a chance that this scheme could bring about an escalation in hostilities between Eorzea and the Empire, the Alliance must be informed.
Agreed. I should depart for Limsa forthwith and seek an audience with the Admiral. Thancred, Uldar is yours. Alphino and Alize, make haste to the Twelveswood and notify the Elder Seedseer of the danger to Gridania. She will duly call a council of the Alliance leaders, whom you must be ready to receive. You will be our voice in Ishgard. Explain the situation to Sir Emmerich and encourage him to send an envoy. Tataru, Krile, I leave the care of our injured messenger to you. See that she remains quiescent and her wounds closed. I believe that covers everything. Let us be about our tasks.
I suspect the ill tidings from Girabania will be held as a turning point. The beginning to a bloody end.
It's a shame we didn't get to hear more of this voice actor for Papalimo.
The business of war was ever conducted with the coin of self-sacrifice. 'Twas Master Louis Soir himself who taught us that such costs are not to be ignored or denied. And so, I shall embrace them. When the time comes, I will make my choice, as you will yours.
So I've had a cat sitting next to me through the entirety of Raid, and he's decided to take the 4 steps onto my lap and is now kneading at the blankets on top of me. He's a good boy. Yeah, it's a shame we didn't get to hear more of this Papalymo voice actor, because, I mean, the original one, as with all the other voice actors of AR, were fucking dreadful. But this is a suave Papalymo. Not quite the voice fitting a potato, but that's okay. Oh god, I can't be yawning until like 9 p.m. Cat, you can lay down, you know. I can snuggle with you. Just giving me a look. I'm getting stared at. You silly goose. He wants me to pet him. Greetings, warrior of light. What business brings you to Ishgard? See, wait here. I will summon Sir Emmerich. It's good to see you, my friend. It's but a pity it must be under such circumstances. Had Lucia not informed me of the urgency of your suit, I would have certainly sent for some wine. But to business. I thank you for bringing these developments in Alamigo to our attention. Ishgard will of course send an envoy to attend the council in Gridania. I cannot say who will represent us, however, as the choice is not mine to make. Not mine alone, at any rate. Given the imminence of the threat, we may undergo the formalities of a full assembly, but I still need to consult my counterpart in the House of Commons prior to proceeding. Will you permit me some time to make the necessary arrangements? I thank you. A representative, whoever we select, will require a suitable escort. Make your preparations and inform Sir Handaloo that he is to lead in your absence. Yes, Lord Commander. Liana, pray accompany Lucia to the gates of judgment and make ready to depart for Gridania. I will have our envoy join you as soon as I can. Fury speed you on your way. See, like, why don't we remember that we can teleport now, of all times? Like, there's no way that Lucia hasn't been to Gridania. Maybe the envoy would probably have to walk, but like, fuck. We could teleport, people! You have no other business in the city. Join me at the gates of judgment. We must be ready to depart the instant the envoy arrives. Let's see. It's probably outside. Outside the gates of judgment. We meet again. As it happens, my counterpart in the House of Commons agreed that I should act as Ishgard's envoy. Not, I concede, that there was any ever real doubt. As Lord Commander of the Temple Knights, it is my duty to sanction any military cooperation. Be that as it may, I could not in good conscience make the decision alone, not with the ink scarce dry in the Republic's Book of Statutes. I trust you understand, my friend. Last, I must test your patience still further by making a brief stop at Camp Dragonhead. Given the trouble brewing in the Black Shroud, I would see the garrison is ready to defend the border. Emmerich, you can definitely teleport to Gridania, so why the fuck are we walking? I don't know why I'm about to. I'm gonna teleport 5 feet. Let's be real. Walking builds character. The garrison commander waits within. Why not accompany me, Kiliana? You may see a familiar face. Can't remember, did they make XIV? Oh no, Amenelaine. Fuck you, Amenelaine. Kiliana, old girl! How wonderful to see you. Sir Emmerich, too. To what do I owe these unexpected pleasures? I will have some mulled wine brought up from the kitchens at once, if you'll excuse. Nay, do not trouble yourself, Honoro. We shall soon be on our way. Lucia, a brief summary, if you will. Yes, Lord Commander. I fucking hate Amenelaine. Such an idiot. Yeah, I just hate him. His brother's cooler. His brother's less of a shithead. Those villains hardly need an excuse to wage war. Bloodletting comes as naturally as breathing to to an Imperial. And thus we shall strengthen our patrols as you suggest. We shall also be sure to communicate these developments to Lord Francel and the Observatorium. I see you have everything in hand. Carry on, Commander. You don't deserve to have Horschafon's position. You poophead. Surprised to see yours truly at the helm? Yes. You and me both, old girl. I doubt I'll ever feel worthy to sit where he sat. Yet we can but play the hand we're dealt, and with a little help from the veterans, and Honoro's ceaseless chiding, I'm sure I'll muddle through. So worry not, old girl. Off to Gridania with you. At least he admits it. He's like, Horschaphon was better than me. Why am I here? And I did appreciate in Endwalker when he was flat out like, if you thought I got any better, I super didn't. Like, he was at least bluntly honest. I am still a shithead. Did not get any better. Diplomatic duties have brought me here on several occasions, but I find that I am enraptured by the Black Shroud's beauty now as when I first laid eyes upon it. I fear that this time, however, events shall not afford us the luxury of enjoying the splendor of the forest. You've been here before, which means you could have teleported. Just saying. Seems we have to have an escort to the Lotus Stand. Pleasant place to discuss unpleasant matters, is it not? Yes, of course. It is like that we are the last to arrive. Let us announce ourselves, shall we? You're gonna make me walk there, aren't you? So, again with the walking. Like, come on. Just fucking suck me into a cutscene, my dude. It's fine. Oh, wow. The fucking Conjure had nothing to say. Oh, there we go. It's because there's a cutscene here. The envoy from Ishgard has arrived. Very good. This way, if you please. Ah, and the Lomenzin party as well. I had hoped to slip in unnoticed, but I see I was not the only one delayed in my arrival. Greetings, Sir Emmerich. Admiral, always a pleasure. And Kiliana, I trust you are well. 'Tis a day for reunions, it seems. I believe you are well acquainted with my escort. Lady Kiliana, I was glad to hear from Riol that the missing scions have been found. There is much and more I would discuss with you, but let us first attend to the issue at hand, shall we? Melwib is one of the few characters that I liked her ARR voice a lot more than her new one. One of the few. Her voice, it was still like bad tone in like the voice acting as everyone was, but like I liked the voice for the character more.
I bid you welcome, my friends. As you will by now be aware, the Scions of the Seventh Dawn have come into possession of certain intelligence concerning recent developments in the region of Gyr Abania. It springs, I am assured, from an unimpeachable source. Is that not so, Master Alphino?
Indeed, Elder Seedseer. Our information comes directly from a member of the Resistance's inner circle, and we have no cause to doubt its veracity.
This griffin of theirs is a fool if he thinks he can hold Belsar's wall against the Empire. When the Imperials move to take it back, they will come in force. And the resulting fighting is all but certain to spill over into the Black Shroud.
At the Battle of Cartano, the combined might of 3 grand companies labored to contend with the remnants of but a single Imperial legion. Alone, Gridania would be hard-pressed indeed to hold back the tide, should the Garleans turn their minds from reclamation to invasion.
May I once more convey my nation's deepest regrets for our inaction in the days prior to the calamity. 'Tis a stain upon our ledger that I would fain remove. Elder Seedseer, I do hereby request leave to deploy a defensive force within the borders of Gridania. Ishgard's return to the Alliance shall be honored by more than mere ink upon parchment.
The Doman people too would join any effort that weakens our common foe. We are few, but our most seasoned shinobi are at your disposal.
On behalf of my people, I offer you my humble thanks. Gridania welcomes your assistance.
It is time we set our contingency plans in motion. Is the Alliance agreed? Then let us make ready for war. Victory favors the swift, and there is much to be done.
The Council knows that Alamigo will not soon be wrested from the Empire, and its decision to bolster the border's defences seems eminently practical. Why then, brother, do you scowl so?
I agree that they have chosen the wisest course available. Indeed, the only reasonable one. Yet something feels awry. In making ready for war, is the Alliance not granting the Griffin the very thing he desired? Any attempt to hold the wall is doomed to failure, aye. But I wonder if we have misjudged the prize for which he plays.
The Council was able to reach an accord so swiftly is heartening development in itself. I only hope my misgivings prove unfounded. Ah, good, you've yet to depart. I feared I had missed you. Sir Emmerich! Master Elvino, a pleasure as always. And Mistress Alize, how wonderful to see you thus recovered. Pardon the interruption, I had hoped to thank Kiliana for serving as our escort before our other duties called her away. I also wish to thank our Doman ally. Forgive me, my lord. I was but awaiting an opportune moment to join the conversation. A force of habit made me keep to the shadows. No apologies necessary, Mr. Sugiri. I was most grateful for your interjection when I offered Ishgardian support. My nation's historic failure to heed the Alliance's pleas for aid is a matter of record. Even so, the Alliance leaders were plainly unprepared for my impromptu apology. The resulting air of awkwardness might have lingered longer, were it not for your timely offer of cooperation, which allowed the Elder Seedseer to accept us both. I very much appreciated the gesture. I only did my duty, Sir Emmerich. The Empire is an enemy to us all, and we are grateful for the opportunity to fight at your side. And full glad are we to have you. Pray convey my regards to the Scions, my friends. We must return to Ishgard. Whatever is wrong with a simple sorry or thank you? Must these politicians always make a speech out of everything? That is how we adults speak, dear sister. Mayhap the ones who like the sound of their own voice. In any case, our business here is concluded. We should be on our way as well. Will you be accompanying us to Revenant's Toll, Yugiri? Actually, I think I shall pay a brief visit to the East Shroud. I am curious to know how Papalymo and Ida fared in their talks with the Sylphs, not to mention what has been going on at Balsar's Wall. I will join you at the Rising Stones anon. Why am I yawning? It's only 9:10 p.m. The lid. The lid! The aetheryte, the lid! Welcome back, Kiliana. I don't know about you, but I'm heartily glad that all of the talking is over. I understand that these council meetings are important, but do you not find it tiresome to have to weigh every word before you speak it? I doubt I will ever feel at home in the realm of politics. That said, people have been known to change, and if my brother is willing to run his own errands, anything is possible. Well, as much as I enjoy the bustle of the toll, I think it's time we headed inside. My brother and the others will not be long. Ah, you have returned from the council. But what of Alpino? Did some other matter require his attention? Mine apologies, friends. I trust we have not kept you waiting over long. Greetings, everyone. Oh, Kryl, how's Nago doing? She will be alright, won't she? I don't see why not. She's sleeping at the moment. Tatru is keeping an eye on her, so we'll know soon enough if there are any change in her condition. Her wounds are healing well. With sufficient rest, I am certain she will make a full recovery. Thank goodness for that. And mayhap you would share with us the Council's decision. Each of the nations, Iscard included, is committed to providing military support to Gridania. The Eorzean Alliance will soon have significant force in the Black Shroud, ready to respond to any Imperial act of aggression. You know, I almost wish the Council would stop messing around and give the Griffin what he wants. I wouldn't like to make Imperial caught between the Resistance and the Alliance. I want to be. Ida, you cannot seriously... One does not lightly go to war with the Garlean Empire. Quite. To open hostilities without due consideration would be to invite disaster. If only there was some way to reach the Griffin. Some means to convince him to abandon this reckless course. Hey, Belmont. Welcome, welcome. May not be entirely unfeasible. There's a network of tunnels beneath Balsar's wall, secret passages dug by the Resistance to provide a way out of Alamigo, which may equally serve as a way in. Precisely. If all are in agreement, I would be the one to undertake the necessary negotiations. I am familiar with the route, and the Resistance is familiar with me. About as familiar as they are with me, you mean? Say what you want, I'm coming too. I have some experience in the practice of infiltration. If you would have me, my services are at your disposal. As are mine. It's been far too long since I shared a shadow with a shinobi, and I do not intend to waste the opportunity. 4 is quite as sufficient for an infiltration mission. Greater numbers will only serve to increase the risk of detection. Kryl and I will direct our energies elsewhere. What of you levy yours? I would return to the East Shroud and stand watch over the border. Should matters take a turn for the worse, it would seem wise to be on hand. Might I prevail upon you to accompany me, Kiliana? Gridania will be safer for your presence, and, while it may not seem the most thrilling duty, dear sister, might I ask you to remain at the Rising Stones to pass on messages and so on? To hold the fort, you mean? Very well, I suppose the task must fall to someone. Safe travels, all of you. Okay, Alize, your expansion's coming. And you did just have a very cool cutscene in the previous part, where you showed off the fact that you are a red mage when they aren't supposed to exist yet. Because you're a badass, you know? If you have any unfinished business in the toll, pray attend to it now. I would depart for the Hawthorne Hut without delay. The nearby watchtowers offer an unobstructed view of Balsar's Wall, and I should be interested to speak with the Alliance commanders who have installed themselves at its top. My intent is to start Stormblood tonight, because, I mean, it's 9:15, it's a Friday, it's the weekend, I've had a cranky week, I love these characters, I want them to make it better, we're gaming. My apologies for the coughing. Ah, Kiliana, there you are. Come at Emersay's Spire awaits? That's how I'm going to pronounce that. The Alliance officers on the platform should be able to apprise us of any developments at the wall. Fancy meeting the two of you here. We were about to set forth. Indeed, I was about to say 12 watch over you, but I doubt you have need of divine protection, even if you are venturing into enemy territory. Don't worry, Alphino. We'll have the griffin by the scruff of the neck before you know it. Do make up your mind, Ida. Nary a moment ago you seemed ready to shake the griffin by the hand rather than the neck. So which is it to be? 'Twould be best to decide before we enter into negotiations. Trust me, Papa Limo. I'll shake whatever needs shaking. The talking part I leave to you. I can feel a headache coming on. Let us be on our way, shall we? Thanks, Stratostar. It was just one of them weeks. Work's rough because we're super understaffed, and then recreational things did not ease my stress as they normally do. D&D went kind of rough, and 14 raid went kind of rough. It was like, I just want to hug characters and have a good day. Some things never change. Well then, shall we make for the spire? Our alliance friends will doubtless have news for us. Yeah, no. Yesterday I had D&D and it was a fine session, but then something happened at the end where I might have misinterpreted the rules to something, and basically, like, the class that I was super excited about, I'm now infinitely less excited about. And it's like my entire character is built around this class. So it kind of sucks. And my DM's going to work with me, but I just feel bad that the whole thing happened at all. Welcome, Warrior of Light. I assume you're here to speak with our commanding officers. You'll find them on the Observatorium platform. Pray proceed. Greetings, my friends. 'Tis good to see you both well. I was hoping you might turn up. I've dragged half the watch here, see? And the sight of you might help remind him why we bothered. Memory serves, I have not seen many of you since the day of the Grand Melee. Having borne the brunt of your blows, may I say it was an honor it is to stand by your side. 'Tis heartening indeed to see the realm's most stalwart defenders thus gathered in a common cause. Speaking of which, what news from the wall? All has been quiet. Just kidding. Boom boom. No silence here. Report. What? 7 hells. Fighting has broken out at the top of the wall. A full-scale assault. The griffin has made his move. Someone has. And what's that supposed to mean? The attackers, they're wearing Grand Company colors. Impossible! We gave no such order! Of course! The wall was never the Griffin's target, it was the bait! We have been goaded in deploying our armies nearby, thus lending weight to his deception. Those uniforms were convincing enough to deceive my scouts. The Empire will surely think we've launched an offensive. This could mean war. Even so, this may not yet be no more than a diversion. With the armies of the Alliance occupying the Empire's attention, it would be comparatively easy for the Griffin supporters to slip into El Amigo. Yet then incite a rebellion amongst the populace, which the Imperial reserves would be hard-pressed to contain. Eorzea, meanwhile, would be plunged into chaos. Kinliana, we must make for the wall at once. What, just the two of you? Our companions embarked on a mission to sway the Griffin from his course, and are likely halfway to his command post by now. They will emerge in the midst of a raging battle, and I do not mean to abandon them to their fate. It will be dangerous, aye, but the confusion may work to our advantage. If we are careful to avoid the skirmishing, it may yet be possible to reach the Griffin. If we can do that... Lady Hilda, might I ask that you have an airship ready to bear the Scions to safety? Ha! I don't know who this Lady Hilda is, Marshal, but you can count on me. We must prepare for Imperial reprisals. May the Navigator guide us through the storm. All good, Belmont. All good. Enjoy food and coffee. Honestly, I'm tempted to get coffee, but it's 9:20 p.m. and I should not drink coffee at 9:20 p.m. Even on a Friday. who is this mysterious griffin? We have yet to find out. Forward, comrades! The time has come to drive the Empire from Alamigo and force action upon those who have turned their backs from our suffering for so long. Let this victory be the first step of the liberation of our homeland. Alamigo will be free, no matter the cost. Boop. What Papalymo told me, the trail ahead should lead us into the shadow of the wall. We have two objectives. I suggest we divide our forces. I shall make straightaways for the tunnels and attempt to intercept our comrades as they stumble into a bloodbath. While I do so, I must ask that you scale the wall. Know that I would not propose such a course if there were any other way, but the time for subtlety is past. Take a band of your most trusted companions and cut a path to the griffin. Make him see reason, by any means necessary. Yes, trusted companions, me, myself, and I. Once we are free of the tunnels, we will make for your positions with all due haste. And if everything proceeds according to plan, Hilda will then swoop in and spirit us all away to safety. I only pray that we have enough time. Yeah, so it sounds like you have more of a night cycle. Thus we undersize, ass blast another dungeon. The last of Heavensward, Belsar's Wall. So this, Belsar's Wall, and Somal Hard are the expert dungeons from when I got to max level for the first time. More or less. When I really started running experts. Like, I didn't start playing this game until late Heavensward. So this is like, I have like visceral memories of fucking queuing into this or Somal Hard. And I hated getting this one. God, I hated getting Belsar's Wall. It's not even a bad dungeon. I just got so tired of it compared to Somal. We're gonna get some spicy big pulls here, though. Look at all these bad boys. There's one big pull that I remember to this day. It was like the Paladin White Mage combinations, like Wet Dream, because he would just run to the top and slap hallowed ground, and they would holy. I'll point it out when we get there. It was like, it was the pull. Doable with other classes, but not as easily. Practicing my opener when I really don't need to be. Like, there's no reason for me to pop Requiescat, it's just for funsies. I think this is why this dungeon it was like this whole conveyor section just felt slow as hell. Yeah, this is back when I was too afraid to run extreme primals, because I was too afraid I was bad at the game. I didn't run any extremes until Stormblood. Back in my day, Paladin didn't have no fancy AoE attacks. We had Flash. We showed our tits to the enemy. Tsukiyomi? Yeah. I think I started with... Yeah, I did Susanoo. I did Susanoo when it was relevant. Those like the story Stormblood ones were my first ones that I won in with friends and stuff. I didn't get many wolves though. The only wolf I got when it was relevant is Suzaku, because I was farming for my bard's raid weapon at the time. With my raid group's paladin, and happened to get it with the low drop rate. I have Susanoo's dog now, and I got Shinryu's dog. I think during it was actually no. I think I got it at the end of Stormblood. I think I got it just before Shadowbringers came out. That was a lucky drop because fuck that fight. Fucking Shinryu Extreme. Still need Tsukiyomis though. I want all the doggos someday. I don't even have Lakshmis. Which apparently you can two-man Lakshmi now, so lol. But this was the pull. This was like the fucking wet dream of all white mages and paladinios. You just would take these guys and just keep on schmoovin'. So there's like 6 guys here. And you just keep on going. And then there are 4 here, or 3 here. And then there are 3 here. So you would get to this point without the dash, obviously, because, you know, Wall didn't have that. And then just slap hallowed ground, and the white mage would holy, and it was the most beautiful thing you've ever seen for back in those times. Who is this mysterious man? The Griffin. Who could it be? Oh shit. It's Ilberd. I'm almost tempted to auto-attack this man to death so we can hear the line. I'm gonna give him a chance to call me sloppy. I'm not gonna pop any buffs. Come on. Say the word. Say the thing. Don't make me, like, put my weapon away. Come on. Nope, that's not the line. Come on. Nope, that's not the line either. Say the thing. There it is. Sloppy! Sloppy! For an amigo! No smile for Ilberd. Just a blank stare. Cat, I know you want to snuggle, but I'm kind of overheating here. Hold on, let me, like, move the blanket. There we go. It's you who's sloppy, dickhead. Fuck you. You're the reason for everything. You're the reason Benfilia's gone. Dickhead.
You've beaten me, aye. But you cannot stop what I've begun. Behold, a glimpse of things to come.
We did it! We showed the bastards!
Aye! Victory is ours!
And who knows, lads? Mayhap the Eorzeans will finally see sense when the enemy turns up on their bloody doorstep.
Fuck you, Laurentius.
This is for Alamigo, for Eorzea.
Fuck you, Laurentius.
They die that others may live.
Shouldn't have spared you. Just fucking killed you. Yep, look at that fucking evil potato. You said the piece of garbage.
Vanguards! Attack!
Seven hells. Do you hear that?
War machines. How did they get here so quickly?
Stand your ground! For the resistance!
There's nowhere to run. We're cut off.
And they died. Those guys died too. Everyone dead. Because Ilberd's a nice man.
empire's too big, too powerful. Mighty Rolger, grant us the strength to crush our...
There you are.
As you can see, our infiltrators did not elude me for long. Lady Ugiri is sending for an airship even as we speak.
What do we do? This is a massacre!
How wonderful to see you, Commander.
Ilberd, I should have known. This has to end. It has to end now. Do you not see your countrymen dying? Have your ideals rendered you blind even to that? Order the retreat, and we will help your soldiers to safety.
Retreat? With the moment of my triumph so close at hand? You truly are a sheltered child, Leverrier.
Look what I have in my pocket. Frozen eyeballs.
Nidhogg's eyes. No abyss is too deep for you, I see. But trust me when I say that such power was not meant for mortal hands.
How long have I struggled to reach this point? My countrymen, so inured to the taste of defeat, they no longer balk at its bitterness, shouting my throat raw with rallying cries, only to be greeted with dull eyes and blank faces. My brothers and sisters in Ulda have surrendered to their apathy and their appetites. Were it not for the glint of Lodorito's coin, I doubt even those here now would have answered my call. Take back our homeland! Free Alamigo! Ha! They'll happily mouth the words, but they won't spill the blood. You say no mortal should wield these eyes? Then I shall gladly become a demon. I will suckle on the souls of the hopeless and liberate the homeland they no longer deserve.
What exactly do you mean to do?
Did you hear their cries as victory was snatched away from them? Even with their dying breaths, they cursed the Empire. Never has their desire for vengeance been so raw, so true. A god has no need of faith when summoned by so pure a purpose.
Summoned? You cannot mean to fight the Empire with a primal! You know full well the danger, the futility of relying on such power.
Oh yes, I know their limitations. Which is why I will call upon a deity more terrible than the very black worm of the calamity itself.
What? Here? Now?
Like hells you will!
An ending to mark a new beginning. My pain, my longing, you shall have it all!
I guess Endwalker wasn't the first suicide. You know? I felt more bad for the commander in Endwalker. That's probably why a little more impactful than Ilberd fucking yeeting himself off a cliff. Plus, the writing in Endwalker is just better. But yeah. Hilbert's just crazy. Look at that. Happy face. So it really does kind of like... It kind of sucks, if you think about it. This primal was born of the desire to kill the Imperials and liberate Alamigo, and it just gets fucking subjugated by Xenos. That is the opposite of what they wanted to happen. Get fucked, Dilbert.
This light, is it...
His death completed the ritual. The primal is taking shape.
Well, can't we stop it? There must be something we can do.
Oh, cat, my leg's falling asleep.
There is one thing.
What? Hey, where do you think you're going?
Master Louisoix briefly contained Bahamut by means of a potent spell of sealing. I will now attempt to do the same.
But that's impossible! We would need hours to collect the necessary ether, if not days!
Ah, Alphino, though I concede it may not always be apparent, I was ever your grandsire's finest pupil.
Timtimati, of course! The staff still holds enormous power, broken or not.
Don't you dare, Papalimo! I know how that spell works. It is time to leave.
Quite right. Quickly now, off you go. The further away, the better.
No! If you're staying, then so am I.
No, Ida. There is a path only you can walk, and it must not end here. Not like this. Take her! Please, you have to take her!
What? No! Damn it, Thancred! Put me down! Thancred!
This is one battle you cannot fight. Away with you! Go!
Stay at Papalimo's side. No. No, Papalimo. I stay. Rude.
Hilda! I think he means now!
I bid thee farewell again, my dear Ida. Now, let us see how good a student I truly was.
Potato, no. Why? Why didn't they let me stay? Papalymo is my friend. I should have been there with him. You could see it in his eyes, Ida. He knew what he was doing, what had to be done. Master Louis wore the same look right before the end. You think I don't know that? I know, alright? I know! There's nothing more you could have done. Ilberd caught us off guard. Even Kinliana was powerless to stop him. You must blame someone, then blame me. Just promise that you will never forget what Papalymo strove to protect, or the lessons he tried to teach you. Don't speak to me. Leave Ida with me. Go on, go back to the Rising Stones. The others need to know what happened here. Once again, I find myself at a loss for words. Thancred is right. We must return to the Rising Stones and apprise our companions of all of this. Pray make your way there at once. I will send word to Y'shtola and the others of our imminent return. Should seem you bring ill tidings, brother. Aye. Behind the griffin's mask, we found the grinning face of an old adversary, Ilberd. I know not how, but he had in his possession the eyes of Nidhogg, whose dread power he used to initiate a summoning ritual even as we looked on. By the 12. I do not understand. To attempt such a magic requires every ounce of one's aether. No one, not even grandfather, could cast it and hope to survive. Indeed, it was ever a last resort. I am certain Papalymo was aware. Thus did the pupil follow in the footsteps of his master, even unto the grave. I have as yet been unable to explain how Ilberd came to possess Nidhogg's eyes. In the depths of the Sea of Clouds, a perpetual storm of water and wind aspected ether rages. No mortal could endure such conditions. Then mayhap it was the work of an Ascian, but now is not the time for idle speculation. Kryl, I have need of your assistance. Yes, of course. We must inspect the cocoon of light and ascertain the state of the primal trapped within. Between our respective talents, I dare say we shall glean some measure of insight. Understood. I can't promise I'll be able to sense much through the barrier, but I shall certainly do my best. As shall I. Let us be about it, then. without so much as a by your leave. We forgive Archon Yustola her brevity. She seeketh employment, lest her grief deprive her of the will to act. The desire to comfort Ida doubtless compoundeth her unseemly haste. I too must contend with the grievous loss in my own way. By thy leave, Lady Alisaie, I shall honor our fallen colleague through gainful study. There exist writings which may yet further our understanding of this cocoon of light. Y'all, we sad, and we're gonna read books and shit so that we don't cry. Mayhap I was too quick to judge. Surrendering to sadness and regret would be a poor tribute to Populimo's sacrifice. Quite. We must begin preparations to face Ilberd's accursed creation without delay. What time we have was purchased at too dear a price for us to squander it. Ah, Kinliana, I wish I had more to tell you, but the situation in the East Shroud remains largely unchanged. Meaning we still have no idea how long it is before... Communication from the Alliance. One moment. I wonder if that was the end of patch 4. No, that wouldn't have made sense for that to be the end of patch 4.4. I'm getting confused how these patches are lining up, because that's, like, definitely was a patch... Like, that was like a patch line. It was like, we need to prepare, and, like, then you fuck off for a couple of months. Yes, of course. Our representatives will be present. My thanks. Word from Gridania. The council will shortly be reconvened. The Alliance leaders have already begun to assemble. They wish to discuss the Primal, of course. As of Yustola's latest report, the cocoon yet hung above the wall unchanged. Yeah, like this is definitely the start of a patch. Yes, but the Elder Seedseer doubtless shares our concerns about how long it will remain so. I'm told that Sid Garland has been called to add his expertise to the proceedings. A wise decision. The more minds we have working on this, the better. Well then, I suggest we leave the Rising Stones in Tataru's capable hands and make haste for the Lotus Stand. Yeah, I thought we were already in 3.5, but maybe not. No, okay, is this the start of Stormblood already? I feel like there would have been more of a shebang to end. Well, I mean, I guess Populimo did just off himself. Huh. I'm not sure if this is the start of Stormblood or not. Did Kasetsu show up in post-Heavensward or not?
A word, if you would, good sir. This place. It is within the realm of Eorzea.
I have to Google, because otherwise my parts are going to be all fucked up.
You're an odd-looking fellow, aren't you? Still, takes all sorts, I suppose. This here's Vesper Bay. Thanalan's door to the ocean, as some folk like to call it.
Am I to understand from your answer that I have indeed arrived in Eorzea?
Eh? Yes? You're in Eorzea?
Ah! A plain response at last, and the one I wanted at that. My journey was not without its hardships, and I would sooner travel by land than put to sea again.
This is definitely not the start of Heavens or Stormblood, because there would be credits, I'm pretty sure, at the end of Heavensward.
You do not believe that so small a bark could bear me across the ocean? Such timid little sailors. I had but to set my course and set my jaw till I made port. Though, 'twould perhaps have been wise to lay down my oars a moment to sup on more than the spray of brine water. By the trembling of my limbs, I sense a brief repast may be.
Okay. The last quest was the end of 3.5, and this is 3.56. they put in a couple of quests just before the start of Stormblood.
Nay, I will not hearken to the feeble grumblings of an empty belly. Duty comes before.
Yeah, Gosetsu is a champion. He, like, just fucking rows a boat, and then in Endwalker, if you haven't done all the role quests, you should. That's all I'll say.
Thou art far indeed from home, friend.
Which one was that? Was it the... I think it was the physical... ranged. Physical ranged. Unfortunately, it was my least favorite of the role quests, but still pretty heckin' good. Caster one was good. Caster one was... Oh, fuck. Which one was Caster? You know, Healer is Alamigo. Tank is Ishgard? No, Caster's Ishgard. Yeah, Caster was good. Welcome, Warrior of Light. This way, if you please.
Dear friends, pray accept my heartfelt thanks for your efforts in defense of Gridania's borders. I would fain dwell longer on my gratitude for the support of the Alliance, but the situation at Belsar's Wall demands that we...
I just realized how dumb I am for thinking that this was maybe the start of Stormblood. I'm playing fucking New Game Plus. The game would have gone, Heavensward done, and I would have had to literally click on Stormblood. It's late, okay? It's been a long week.
According to our most recent intelligence, the cocoon of light that formed in the air above the wall remains undimmed and unbroken. After measuring the cocoon's etheric concentrations, Archon Y'shtola has confirmed the presence of a primal entity.
So we must assume that Ilbert's thrice damned god is indeed trapped within. And what news of the Imperials? They're not like to ignore such a spectacle.
Sir, a Garlean airship was observed making an approach, but the vessel was destroyed when it drew near. The Empire appears to have made no subsequent attempts to reach the object.
Exactly. You are here.
The incident spoke of a lance of light issuing from within the cocoon. Of an entire warship being reduced to smoking ruin in the space of a moment. Veterans of Cartano, meanwhile, likened the destruction to that wrought by the fiery wrath of Bahamut.
We could face another calamity.
So the Primal is awake then? Contained, yes, but for how long? We must destroy it now, lest it break free.
Agreed. There is, however, the small matter of how to get close enough to a being that swats warships from the sky as you would a bothersome gnat.
Aerotel Skava has a fucking plan for you. Heyo.
Is this truly so complex a puzzle? Or have you no stomach for the obvious solution?
What in the hells are you doing here?
A pleasure to see you too, Garland. Now, if you'd be so kind as to explain to these good people why you should be begging me for my assistance, that would be most appreciated.
Who is this man?
Oh, how terrifically rude of me. Nero Tolskeva, former tribunus of the 14th Legion of the Garlean Empire. These days, however, one might say that I'm something of a free...
Yeah, and you can tell they didn't get the voice actor to come back, because in Endwalker he's there and he's just silent. He has no voice lines. Though to be fair, Sid's barely there too, but I'm pretty sure they had to rep Sid's voice actor.
What do you want, Nero?
I was getting to that. Although you already know what I'm about to propose, old friend. As you have rather belatedly realized, within that frail binding lurks an entity alike in strength to the great Bahamut, and the only force in existence which might conceivably contend with such a foe is the very creation which captured the Elder Primal in the first place. I speak, of course, of Omega.
2015, damn. That's like the very end of my college experience. Back when I made the mistake of playing Sonic Adventure 2 Battle.
That Hulk has been gathering dust beneath the plains of Cartanau since the Allagans breathed their last. And none alive knows how to wait.
I mean, Nero knows, because he's a big smart boy.
I'm sorry? Do you understand who it is with whom you have the privilege of speaking? I'm Nero Tolskeva, Master Engineer, the mechanical genius who restored the Ultima weapon to full operational capacity. And as luck would have it, I'm graciously offering you the use of my considerable expertise.
Hell yeah. That's what I like to hear, Serata Star, because SA2 is where my stream grew. And then I was like, oh wait, this game is bad for me, because I would get too mad at it. So I switched to RPGs.
And what, you just expect us to accept? You're a fool if you think your deeds at the Crystal Tower are enough to win my trust, Nero.
Yeah, Crystal Tower. I'm going to eventually redo the Crystal Tower New Game Plus storyline, just because it's so important to Shadowbringers. I'll probably do it after Stormblood, which, in terms of continuity, will make no fucking sense, but I just don't want to do it now, so, you know, Nero helped out in the Crystal Tower. He was a good boy.
Trust? You wound me, Garland. All those years, studying side by side at the academy, sharing both trial and triumph, we were countrymen once, you and I. But sentiment aside, have you a better solution? Or do you mean to send in your vaunted hero there, as you always do, and pray the world is not engulfed in flame? Let us approach the problem in a rational manner. Does not the fact that Omega slumbers in stasis point to the existence of some overriding technology? A means of control?
I would ask a question, if I may. Nero, was it not? In the event that we succeeded in using Omega to shackle the Primal in the manner you propose, what then would become of it? Do we not risk repeating the mistakes of the Allagans?
Omega is but a tool. How we choose to employ that tool is entirely up to us. Of course, if you would rather leave it buried beneath Cartanau while you continue your petty squabbles above, then I suppose that is also your choice.
Spare us, Nero. The Seedseer's concern is a valid one. He who controls Omega wields the power of the gods, the very power which led the Allagans to destroy themselves.
And does it not fall to we engineers to prevent such misuse? What was your company's proud slogan? Freedom through technology?
A creed you follow, is it? What say you? Do we take this villain at his...
I mean, hey, he helped us out in the Crystal Tower. He was a good boy. He almost fucking died in the Crystal Tower. No, but I'll keep an eye on him.
As will I. I don't like it, but then it doesn't look like we have much choice. Would the Council be willing to entrust this matter to a pair of former Imperials?
Yes. The task of restoring the Allagan relic will be yours. But the responsibility for its reawakening must remain with the Council. Do we condone this course of action?
Aye. 'Twould seem we do. Let the record show that we invest this contingent with the authority to enter Carteneau and take command of Omega. Sid, I appoint you leader of the expedition. Scions, I would ask that you assign some few of your number to escort Master Garland and supervise the other one.
We should be happy to oblige. The politics of Carteneau being what they are, I dare say our neutrality will prove useful in avoiding any unnecessary entanglements.
If I am not mistaken, Doma occupies a similarly neutral position. Might we not persuade you to join the expedition, Lady Yugiri? If you suspected any foul play from Nero, you would be welcome to kill him.
My blade is yours.
God, I love Alize.
Not a moment's hesitation, eh? You'll forgive me if I do not shake.
If he fucks up, feel free to slit his fucking throat. I love Alize so much. Best girl, don't at me. Well, that was rather rewind, try again. Well, that was a rather unexpected development, and one which raises a number of questions. At least among them, how Nero chanced to learn of the council meeting in the first place. Sid and the others are assembling at the airship landing. Alize is already on her way, and it would not do to lag too far behind. Let us be off. Dude, fucking point out number 2. Literally in the top left of my screen it says fucking Heavensward. Paying credence again to the literal sign saying, you are here, not in Stormblood yet, you dumb bitch. Look, I almost just teleported to Gridania from Gridania. I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it. We might not get to Stormblood tonight. We'll see. Stormblood might be a tomorrow adventure. Get all the way up to it tonight. Because my brain is apparently liquefying rapidly. Airship landing. Oh, there's technically an Aetheryte teleport, I think, to the airship landing, but oh well. Liana, Alfino, ready to go? The others have stepped onto the landing for a moment. Lest you wonder, Nero insisted that he be allowed to inspect the Excelsior before boarding. You let him? Despite his very timely offer for assistance, the thought of the man poking about in the workings of the ship without proper supervision does not fill me with confidence. Calm yourself, Alpino. Your sister was adamant that he would never leave her sight. She and Yuri are... Ah, well, here they are now. Right, I think that's everyone. Shall I set a course for Carteneau? Ah, might I ask why that we delay our departure slightly? I require no more than a few hours at most. Our colleagues are studying the cocoon even as we speak, and I would hear their latest observations ere we proceed. It would seem wise to gain a clear understanding of the situation as possible before formulating our plan. Oh, I thought time was against us. How foolish of me. Hold your tongue. When we want your opinion, we'll ask for it. Forgive me, my lady. I shall keep my counsel until such a time as you have finished procrastinating. All right. While Alfino speaks with his colleagues, I shall fly the Excelsior over to Mordona, and we can reconvene at the Rising Stones. And apologies for the trouble. I shall visit your Stola and the others forthwith, and join you as soon as I am able. Kinliana, pray accompany Alize back to the Rising Stones. I shall feel safer knowing you are present to entertain our guest. Right. Everyone heading to Mordona is welcome to travel aboard the Excelsior. I'll clear things with the girl at the counter here. Let her know when you're ready to leave. You're traveling with Master Garland, miss. The Enterprise Excelsior is right this way. Not quite a door-to-door service, but I couldn't exactly land her in the toll's main square. Shall we adjourn to the Rising Stones, then? I could have just teleported to the main square. Just saying.
So these are the fabled headquarters of the Scions. I confess I would have expected an order of self-proclaimed warrior scholars to surround themselves with the fruits of man's enlightenment. And yet there's not so much as a single piece of magitech in sight. It never ceases to amaze me how primitive you Eorzeans truly are.
Oh, I'll have you know that the Rising Stones is home to the very latest in magitech innovation. Wedge calls it the Mark 14 Thermocoil Boil Master, and it's the finest kettle I've ever had the pleasure to own.
We are returned. Well, Ida and I, at least. Ishtola and the others remained behind to continue their assessment of the binding magic.
There didn't seem much point staying just for that, so I decided to come back without Fano. Papalimo bought us this time. We shouldn't waste it.
By your leave!
I am Gosetsu!
Good God, that voice could fell a gigas.
This is the Rising Stones, domicile of the Scions of the Seventh Dawn. I enter at the invitation of one Lord Urianger. I spy you there, Shadow Walker. You always were a hard one to find.
Yugiri, do you know this man?
Gosetsu, why are you come to Eorzea?
In search of you, Yugiri. For days and nights did I row across the angry sea. I made port in good spirits, only for my own flesh to betray me over the trifling matter of an empty belly. Collapsed in the street like an unfed stray I was, until Lord Urianger came to my aid. Over a most welcome meal, we spoke of the plight of Doma, and I learned of our displaced countrymen's work to resettle this blighted land. 'Twas blind fortune that I was able to locate you so swiftly, but now we must make ready to depart. Our master languishes in dire peril, and Doma calls her daughter home.
It is not so simple, Gosetsu. There are obligations which bind me here.
You refuse? Did you mislay your oath during your flight from our homeland? The laws of hospitality must be honored, but surely the vow to defend your master demands the greater obeisance.
It was our master who bid me guide our people to safe haven by any means necessary. And it was the Scions you see before you who provided us succor and sanctuary when all others refused. Dire peril or no, were I to return without first repaying such hospitality, our master would cut me down at the threshold.
Mayhap that is so.
There is more. A crisis threatens all within this realm, Eorzean and Doman alike, and I go to play my part in its resolution. I will not bring shame upon our liege by abandoning my people or my duty.
How very noble of you. Now, in the name of honor, kinship, and, yes, practicality, might I suggest we get this expedition underway? Or would you rather debate the finer points of duty and leave Omega to the Empire?
The Empire? You, Giddy? You draw steel against the curse of Garlemald? Then why did you not say so? My blade is oath-bound to fall upon the ranks of the Imperials wheresoever they march. Lead on, Shadow Walker, and may the enemy tremble at our coming.
I will fuck up some Imperials. That's what he says. Kiliana, wait! Could I speak to you for a moment? Do you remember when I had you meet at the Diamond Forge and we, ambushed you? Yes, I do. Well, once we had your measurements, I set to work making you a traveling outfit with my spare time. I've only just this moment finished the stitching, but I wanted you to have it before you left. Here. Pretty sure this was like the schoolgirl outfit, which is not a traveling outfit. Try it on right now if you like. Yep, it's the schoolgirl outfit. With a fucking monocle. I am so learned. Assuming we measured correctly, the fit should be just right. Snug, but not too snug, if you know what I mean. So, how does it feel? To be fair, I did glamour this on my healers when I was leveling them up. From, like, baby levels. You're not just saying that, are you? Oh, I can't tell you how much this means to me. To have crafted something worthy of the Warrior of Light is... Well, let's just say it makes all the practice worthwhile. I also sewed in a blood pearl charm to, you know, bring you home. May it always protect you. So we have to wake Omega up, right? When do we start? Ida, are you sure that's... I'm sure, yes. I won't lie and say I'm completely fine, but I'll feel a lot better from doing something useful. Very well. I will remain here and continue coordinating our efforts with the Alliance. Alphino, mayhap you could return to Gridania and assist your stolen Kryl? A fine suggestion. The rest of us will form the Cartano Expedition Party. Nero and I will focus on rousing Omega, while Kinliana, Ida, and our Doman friends take care of security. The Excelsior is just by the lake outside time. We leave as soon as everyone's ready. Work. A duty. We haven't far to go. With any luck, we'll be in Cartano before Gosetsu graces the deck with his dinner. Once there, however, we had best be on guard. Given that Elaine Ryu was still active when Omega was discovered, we can be sure that the Empire has long been aware of its existence. If Nero deemed it the obvious solution to the threat posed by the new Primal, it is not impossible that Garlemald might do the same. Have your weapons ready and your wits about you. Something tells me we're flying into a fight. I always want to call her Elaine Royale, but it's like fucking voice actors are like Royu, Prohu. Except they like all pronounced it fucking differently because it was ARR.
Now, where was that? Ah. I've enabled the teleporter. One brief jump and we shall arrive in Omega's control room.
How convenient. You've been here before.
Of course. It was no easy task threading a path through all the skirmishes. But how could I ignore the existence of such a fascinating toy? You may trust that my preliminary examination was suitably thorough.
Trust? Aye. I trust your appetite for technology. I chased down a suspect airship, and who should I find but the traitor, Sid Garland.
This fucking guy. We go together!
Searching for something, engineer? Something big? It's close, isn't it? It's like all my name days have come at once.
Of all the scouts the Empire could have sent. Take care of that brute, will you?
God damn it. Can't let Nero tinker around in there by himself. I'm sorry to leave you to it, but I dare say you'll manage without me. This clod has no idea who he's dealing with.
I am Gosetsu, Samurai of Doma. You will rue your choice of opponent this day.
Look at this new class that people will be able to play soon TM, and everyone will want to because it's fucking Weeb Central. Imagine playing 14 and not being a weeb. Couldn't be me.
You watching, Papalino?
Tis my right to strike.
This one'll sting.
No retreat. No surrender.
Look upon a samurai of Doma.
No holding back.
Yeah.
Your defense is lacking.
Dude, look at Gosetsu fucking schmooving around the battlefield. What a monster. Surrender. We have you outnumbered. Wouldn't be the first time. Are you still playing with those soldiers? I suppose I can lend you one of my toys, but only if you promise to give it back. Tally fucking ho! Behold, the Red Baron. Now end this nonsense. Dude, that fucking grin. What the? No one told me they had Magitech armor. Forward for the Empire. Look, I got a toy. The honorless cur thinks to abandon his men. I shall see that he shares their fate. Pray attend to the rest of his minions. Okay, there's the Gatling gun, and then this is like a big bomb. Yeah, big bomb. We got a little bomb. We got, let's see, let's go over here and shoot a pew pew laser. Pew! Oh, I missed some.
It's my right to strike.
This one'll sting.
Leave this to me.
Look upon a samurai of Bama.
You watching, Papanino?
Oops, shot that outside.
No holding back.
No retreat. No surrender.
With soul and steel.
Your fucking friends ran without you. Look at all those bard dots on me in the upper right hand corner. Babby bard dots.
It's all over now.
Your defense is lacking.
My right to strike.
This one'll sting.
Am I on fire? I'm on fire. Come on, buddy. Oh, being in fire. Oh, fair enough. Look at this baby AI. Before they made trusts and shit. You haven't seen the last of me. Mark my words, it will be you who rules this day. Yeah, we go together, I know.
Temporal stasis disengaged. All systems operational. Garland?
All clear on this side. It's waking up.
Chicken tenders.
Remarkable. Omega sensors immediately detected the presence of the cocoon, even at this distance. They must have been set to scan for sources of energy exceeding certain magnitudes.
I still don't see any means to control the machine directly. It seems to have been designed to act wholly autonomously. Once we release Omega, we can be fairly certain it will attempt to capture the Primal at Belsar's Wall. Assuming its mission is successful, our only option at that point will be to re-engage its stasis system and put it back to sleep.
And should the machine happen to misbehave, we'll simply initiate an emergency shutdown. I confess we don't yet have a complete grasp of its capabilities, but I'm certain the details will not elude us for long.
Well, I understood less than half of that. So, my question to you is, are we doing the right thing?
Well, what do you think?
What do I think? All right. Step aside, Sid. Is this the thing I need to press?
Yes, that's the one.
You gave too much for us to waste this chance, Papalimo. So this is for you. And me.
Yes! Fly free, my pretty! Show us what you can do.
The launch sequence has begun. Omega is loose.
A little baby taste of a fucking good-ass Primal theme. The boy. It's Shinryu. The other boy. Omega. Yeah, before we met the fucking Omicrons. That was some hefty backstory. This dickhead creating a tidal wave out of nowhere. Motherfucking Shinryu. God, I love his fight theme though. I listened to it on repeat for a long time when he first came out. They're looping certain phrases so it'll never hit phase 2. Would have been interesting to know if Shinryu was capable of, like, intelligent communication. I mean, he was made out of rage and hatred, so probably not. But, I mean, we only ever know him when fucking Xenos body snatches him, so... I mean, Nidhogg was all rage and hate, and, you know, he fucking spoke monologues. Pew!
Huh? Omega has stopped transmitting. But that shouldn't be. I didn't engage the stasis system.
And what does this signify? I have little understanding of these contrivances.
The launch went exactly to plan, but all signals emanating from Omega have ceased. This may indicate any number of things, but we will need to join the Scions out in the field if we are to ascertain which one.
I think the whole deal with Omega Stratistar is that he would have left the star, I think, long before its destruction actually occurred. Is like they fought against the dragons, and he would have chased after Midgard Sommer before they'd given in to all that despair. Like his just task was to do his thing, and he never would have gotten the transmission of "we've become depressed and have given up," because he would have left, I'm assuming, during the fight or at the end of the fight with the dragons before they decided that they were all powerful. Also, I think he's meant to be slightly defective. He's not quite functioning 100%, I think.
Fortunate mishaps. I suggest we make our way back to Gridania.
Yeah, especially because his whole shebang was he was trying to continue to improve himself, which, as far as everyone else was concerned, all the Omicrons, they'd given up on trying to improve themselves. So he never got the directive of stop.
Papalimo's spell is fading. It was bound to his ether, you see. And if the connection is broken...
Ida, why did your tattoo disappear? That's so weird. Why can't I have a disappearing tattoo? Not sure why we lost contact with Omega, but I mean to find out. Let us be on our way. One moment, everything was functioning perfectly, and the next it wasn't. It makes no sense. We need to see what happened for ourselves, and soon. Here we go. Here's the last quest of 3.56. Words can express how glad I am to see you unharmed. When Omega came hurtling towards the cocoon, everything dissolved into chaos. I have to see it. I have to see it with my own eyes. Ida, wait! We must first... The Elder Seedseer is expecting us. Worry not, Alfino. Kosetsu and I will watch over her. You may safely attend your meeting. My thanks, Yugiri. Council reconvened a short while ago. Let us make haste for the Lotus Stand. All there are eager to hear your testimony. Yeah, but I mean, we didn't see shit. We hit the button and then suddenly he stopped working. They're the ones who saw everything. The Elder Seedseer awaits you within. My friends, full eagerly have we awaited your return. You indeed could have discharged the duty entrusted to you, and most humbly do we thank you for seeing it done. You're too kind, Elder Seedseer. As I recall, we were as good as demanded the right to try. But tell me, how did the battle unfold? We succeeded in awakening Omega, aye, but we lost contact with the weapon shortly after it launched. From our position in the control room, we were blind to all that followed. What words could do justice for such a scene? None of my choosing, that much is certain, but I can give you the facts. The cocoon hatched even as Omega arrived, and from its midst rose a great dragon. The pair duly set about each other in the skies over Girabania. The primal's might defied belief. It seemed the very heavens would be rent asunder by the force of its blows, and wielded such magics as I have never seen, and hope never to see again. Battle raged on with no one in sight, until both combatants were engulfed in a blinding flash of light. When the radiance faded, I saw the pair fall motionless from the sky, coming to rest somewhere on Alamegan soil. I'll not speak for the rest, but to my eye it seemed that each had landed a fatal blow upon the other. Most among us could only think of Bahamut when looking upon the primal's form. The Domans were heard to whisper the name Shinryu. It would appear that the being resembles a creature of far eastern legend, and we have found it convenient to refer to it as such. This is Shinryu's fate, and indeed that of Omega is yet unknown. We have alas no eyes on the Giraben inside of the border. Aye, which is why we have sent our main force under the command of Marshal Tarupin to capture the wall. With the Imperials in disarray, we had the perfect opportunity to secure Gridania's border and assess the aftermath of the impact. I myself will join the Marshal and his men when the council is adjourned. Well, that explains a few things. I'll wager that flash of light coincided with our loss of contact. Lest you wonder, we quickly re-engaged Omega's stasis system. Even if it has fallen into the Empire's lap, it will be of no use to them. They perhaps as a statue. Correct. Without me to guide their efforts, it would take them decades to decipher Omega's 4 functions, if they managed it at all. Such reassurances do much to calm our fears, yet the relic's fate is but one of several concerns. Indeed. I humbly submit that the time has come for us to make contact with the Resistance representatives in Girabania. Though Ilbert has forced our hand, it would seem only logical to seek an alliance, given the inevitability of Imperial retaliation. And by working in concert, it is not impossible that Alamigo might finally be wrested from Garlemald's grasp. You must be exhausted. I would ordinarily suggest we retire directly to the Rising Stones, but I wonder if we first might make a small detour. Stola and the others have gathered at Amerse's spire, and I imagine that you too would be interested in seeing what has become of the wall now that the cocoon is gone. It is decided then. Let's lead on. Amerse's spire. Be Amersois. Fucking weird ass names.
My friends, I cannot well express how glad I am to see you both unharmed. They say that Omega's clash with the Primal shook the very firmament.
You need not have worried. The battle took place far above the ground. We were able to observe in relative safety, though I'm given to understand that there were casualties on the far side of the wall.
It was like watching a nightmare unfold before our very eyes. Ilbert's primal manifested in the form of a colossal dragon, a being of pure violence. It burst forth from the cocoon with such terrible force.
That such a horror should spring from the eyes of Nidhogg comes as no surprise. Nor do I wonder at its form. Ilbert all but announced it in the moments prior to his death. Plainly, it was his dying wish to visit a second calamity upon the Empire.
and I am quite certain the abomination would have obliged had it not found itself outmatched by a mega. Gods! I am no stranger to the works of Alag, but even I was unprepared for the machine's furiosity. It beggared belief.
And how fares poor Ida in the midst of all this? Have you spoken with her?
She's up on the platform, lost in thought. We deemed it best not to disturb her, but mayhaps she would welcome some company after all. Shall we?
The light's gone. It was all we had left of him.
Ida.
I don't blame anyone. I knew what was going to happen. I knew the spell Papalimo meant to cast would drain away his life force. I knew that it would only buy us a little time.
Ida, there is no need to explain.
But there is. I can't hide in Papalimo's little shadow anymore, and I shouldn't hide behind my sister's mask. 20 years ago, on the day the Empire marched into Alamigo, I was still just a child, not even 5 summers old. My father had been one of the leaders of the revolution. He had fought to overthrow the Mad King, Theodoric. And my sister had fought alongside him. But she was strong and kind, and always knew what to do. But when the Garleans came, everything changed. My father went to war against them too. And I never saw him again. After that, I remember a lot of running. My sister dragged me for malms and malms until we came to the city of Charlian. That was where she met Master Louis Soir. He introduced her to the Circle of Knowing, and she eventually became an Archon.
She was your inspiration. Is that not why you took up her mask and her name? Or did you simply mean to continue what she had started?
You've known all along, haven't you? That I wasn't Ida.
Of course. We all recognized you at once. 'Twas Papalimo who persuaded us to maintain the charade.
It was silly to think I could fool you. I knew that even then, but I sort of decided not to know. Ida died 6 years ago, on a mission to smuggle refugees out of Alamigo. They say she was overwhelmed by Imperial soldiers when she stayed behind to save a little girl. She was so strong. There must have been a lot of them.
Why did you never tell me?
I'm sorry for lying to you. My real name is Lise. When Papalimo brought me Ida's mask, it was meant as a keepsake, but I decided I wanted to be his new partner, to keep alive all the good that she had done. I didn't want to become Ida, exactly. At the time, though, I still didn't know who I was myself, and it almost seemed easier to play the role. Papalimo agreed to help, of course, but it was never what he wanted for me. He wanted me to walk my own path, and those were his final words to me. The Archon's mark he gave me is faded, and my last excuse along with it. So this is it. Whatever I choose to do from now on, I do as Lys. And I choose to continue my family's fight. I want Alamigo to be the country that Ida and my father always wanted it to be.
War is upon us once more.
Do you regret standing against the Empire? Would you have chosen a different road, knowing what you know now?
To claim that I never doubted the decision would be a lie. But I made my choice, and I have defended it with blade in hand ever since.
The battle continues, and our steel is needed. Come, Shadow Walker, we leave for the east, for Doma.
It was brave of Lys to remove her mask after so long. Though she scarce began to come to terms with Papalymo's loss, that one act made plain her determination to move forward. And should she ever falter, we shall be there to support her on this road she has resolved to walk. Let us return to the Rising Stones. We have quite a story to tell Tataru and my sister. And here we are with some more credits. I'm gonna have to skip them. I mean, I would have anyway, but Dragon Song Super DMCA. Please no kill my stream. I was muted and reading dialogue, so let's try this again. Let's see. Event dialogue. Tell me things. Here we go. Fuck, how long have I been muted? Was I muted for that whole last dialogue? I don't know. Whatever. Let me say. May have mentioned it, but Alfino has apprised me of all that came to pass in Gridania. Your only task now is to rest. This is the calm before the storm. Lys has chosen her path, and as her friends, we must do what we can to support that choice. We are fated to join the conflict in any case. Once the Alliance has taken the wall and opened the way to Garabania, we have little choice but to fight. Which is not to say the cause is unworthy. After all, ignoring the plight of those whom one might conceivably save is not wisdom, but indolence, correct? I, for one, look forward to joining hands with the Alamegans, and striking a blow against the tyranny of the Empire, as I rather suspect do you. Quick march! The Imperials will soon come to their senses, and we must be ready to face their retribution. It's almost time, Father. Aye, almost. Stand firm, Pippin. I learned to brace myself against the charge of the Bull of Alamigo. No foe will dislodge me. Very well, Ilberd. I will take our homeland back. For both of us. Meanwhile, in the Fortress of Doom... My Lord Viceroy, our scouts have confirmed the preliminary reports. Belsar's wall has fallen to the Oresian Alliance. The hunt for Omega and the unknown Icon continues, though both yet elude us. My lord, the battle caused considerable damage across the region. Should we perchance divert some of our forces from the search to undertake necessary reconstruction work? Forgive me, my lord. I did not intend... Your will be done! Unknown. My spies tell me the Domans call it Shinryu, and that it proved a match for Omega. Yes, the coming days promise to be most interesting. Most interesting. Fucking creeper begins. Introduction of the boy that we will never get rid of. The forage of fate, the road begins anew. The heroes look to eastern skies and behold their crimson hue. A dawn of liberation, a gathering storm of blood. And as Stratustar said, it's Stormblood time. But not tonight. Because my brain is liquefying. But, title drop. Next time we will start from the beginning of Stormblood. It'll be a good time. Spooky voice rise, spooky. Yeah, I'm tired, so I'm gonna go pass out. But, tomorrow is Saturday. And I don't have anything to do until dinner reservations with my family at 5. So when I wake up, I might just dive right in. We'll see. If I don't dive right in on Saturday, then I will probably dive in before raid on Sunday, which is also a 5 o'clock start time for something. So we shall see. But the Discord, as always, will ping when I am live, and I try and post as well. I'm going to highlight this to slap with all the parts that are in the highlight channel, and I put them on YouTube and stuff. Glad to see you come back, Stratustar. It's been a while, and I'm glad you like 14, because I have a totally healthy level of appreciation for this game. Totally, absolutely healthy, nothing wrong with it. And I played a lot. So that's going to be it from me. Hope to see you guys tomorrow or Sunday. Or both. Who knows? We'll see. Goodbye.